beginner's piano lesson here at LearnPianoLive.com. This is a beginner's lesson, so the assumption is you know nothing about piano. You don't know the letters, you don't know how to read music, you don't know any chords. If that's you, you're in the right place. We're starting at the very, very, very basics. So really the keys to this lesson is to ask a whole lot of questions. This is you and me, so you got to ask whatever questions you have so that I, as your teacher, can help you out and know what you need. Now, if you are an absolute beginner, you might want to check out the Absolute Beginner's Lesson Pack in the video store, because that'll kind of walk you through some of the very, 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 very basics that most beginning piano students have. It's free. Just go check it out in the video store. And there's a couple other things too that I want to talk to you about before this countdown clock hits 0. All right, first and most important, ask a lot of questions. The way that you're going to do that is there's a couple different ways. You can jump in the chat room and talk with the other students who are logged in at the same time. I'll be watching the chat room too. You can ask your questions there. Or if it's a question that's just for me, a question about the lesson, especially if you know it's one that's going to fit best at the question and answer time at the end, then you can just put your name and your question in the box below this video, click submit, and then I will get that. Now, if you're already in the archives, if you're watching this not live, but you're watching this in the archives, then make sure at the end of the lesson you click on the survey button. You don't have to fill out the entire survey. If you want to, I mean, I'd love your feedback, but really the best part of that is that you can put your question in there, and then when you click submit, then I will get all of your questions. I'll make sure that you get them answered, whether you're in the archives or you're live. Right next to this video, there should be a PDF button and an MP3 button. Now, you don't really need those till after the lesson because I'm going to be showing you on screen the PDF and showing you how to use it. And I'll play the MP3 during the lesson too, so you know at the end of the lesson how you're going to use that. Some people, though, like to print out the PDF ahead of time, so as I'm making notes on my version, they can make the same notes on their version, but it works either way. All right, this is perhaps the most important part. You need to leave the lesson when you feel like you're sufficiently challenged. So, I'm teaching these lessons, 12 to 15 lessons a month. Normally, in traditional lessons, you're getting like a lesson every other week or so. So this is just way too much for you to take in. So, the goal is for you to get some little nugget of something that you can really practice on, really work on. Once you feel like you have that, then you really don't need anything else from me. Go practice. That's where this stuff is really going to happen. You're not going to get through this lesson and be able to play something really well. You're going to get through this lesson and have the information that you need to practice more effectively. That's really the goal here. So don't feel bad about taking off early. If you feel like halfway through the lesson you got as much as you can take in at that time, then go practice that thing, and then come back whenever you've got that thing down, or you're bored with it, or you just want to check out the next topic. Don't forget also that you've got the archives too. So if you want to see one little thing, just repeat it over and over and over. Just give me, hopefully within 24 hours after the lesson, this thing will be up in the archives, so you can just go back and watch it over and over and over and over and just get that little segment down. All right, so to be totally honest with you, today is my least favorite topic. Out of the 8 sectors of musicianship that are out there, I'd rather focus on any of them than literacy. But that's what we're doing, because literacy, as it turns out, is extremely important. So I have found a place in my heart to love this topic, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit more about how you can become more literate, so you can have someone just put sheet music down in front of you, say ready, set, play, and you'll be able to read that with greater and greater accuracy. I'm ready. I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, welcome back, everybody. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, yes, I know the archives are not complete, and all the lessons are there. They're not all accessible right now. So I know a lot of you have been sending me messages, hey, it's all messed up. I know that's because of long story that you don't really care about, but basically all of the new students who signed up at the end of last week were having a hard time with the archive. So we're having to reconstruct all of them. They are all being uploaded currently, and as they get processed, they will start appearing when you click on the lesson. It will actually be a video there that you can watch. So anyway, Really, really, really sorry about that, and hopefully we won't have this update issue again ever in the future. But that's probably not true. We'll have technical difficulties, but we'll all get through it together. All right, so today is on literacy, kind of. I'm going to give you shortcuts to some of the songs you absolutely need to know. As soon as you tell someone that you know how to play piano, they are going to assume that you know at least Fior Elise. That's this one. That thing. So I'm going to show you how to get through that. Now I know this is the beginner lesson, so you're like, "What? No, I can't play that." I'll give you all the easiest versions of this thing. Then the other one that we need to do is Canon in D, and this is the one from like the weddings, like the whatever that's called when they are all walking down before, not the here comes the thing, but the that one right there. So anyway, we're going to go over both of those in a half hour or less today. Send me your questions if you have them, but don't freak out. Don't leave the lesson quite yet. Let me show you here what we need to know. So hopefully you have your PDF, and now you can't see me. Bummer, when I switched it over, I didn't. All right, hang on just a second. I can fix that. All right, and ta-da, there I am. So then the first one, Fior Elise, is going to start on an E, and then it's going to go to an E flat. That's kind of the main two notes of this song. Now, you do need to be able to find out where an E is, so take any group of 2 black notes. So, for example, this is a group of 2 black notes. That's a group of 3 black notes. That's a group of 2 black notes. So you're going to take the group of 2 black notes, any of them, probably something in the mid to upper range. You can see when I play it, I'm playing it right here. That's my first E, so out of the whole entire piano, kind of mid upper range. So you need that first one, and then you're going to play the E flat, which is the note right next to it, and you're just going to go back and forth between those kind of as many times as you want. And then you need to read these notes. Now, if you've been to the literacy lessons before, then you have already gone over all of the lines and spaces. But I've written in all of the letters for you. So that one is a B right there, and it says B inside it. If you look really carefully, you can see the B, and then D, and then C, and then A. So anyway, those are all written in for you. You need to play E, E flat, E, E flat, E, then B, D, C, A. This is the hardest part of it, is getting down the right hand. I know it seems like the hardest part would be like playing both hands together and stuff. I'm going to show you that. That's actually pretty easy. But getting down the melody, B, D, C, A. Now, here's a common problem here. This A is supposed to go down to a C. You can tell because of how far down that goes from that A, like actually literally physically down. So you're actually literally going to go physically down. This direction is down, that direction is up. So from here, we're going to go up all the way down to this C right here, and then E, A. So that first line is going to be E, E flat, E, E flat, E, B, D, C, A. And like I said in the intro, if you need to, you can go back in the archives after this lesson and just watch that one little chunk over and over and over. Get that. Now we're going to go down to that C, E, A, and then the next one's going to be B, and that's this line right over here. So we've now successfully gotten through the first of 4 lines, so you're already a quarter of the way through this song. Then we need an E. This one right here is a G sharp. So normally you would go E, G, but we need the sharp version of that, so it's going to be that one right there. So E, G sharp, the middle note in a group of 3, and then B and C. And good news, this whole next chunk right here is the same thing that you already played up top right there. So you've already played, if you get this far, which is that next part that you have right there. This is all the way up to there. That's all the same as well. So you're basically repeating that top part. And now this is where on the first time through we went to a G sharp, and this time we're going to go from the E not to G sharp, but instead up to C right there and walk it down to there. So your assignment is somewhere in the next week or so, practice up this thing. you go. That's the whole entire first section. Now, you could just play that and totally get away with that as Für Elise. So if someone says, hey, you know how to play piano? You're like, yeah, I know how to play piano. At least I'm working on it. I started. And they're like, oh, play us something. You're like, oh, I don't know what I would play. They're like, play Für Elise. You play, all right, cool. So you play. I'll show you the left hand for this in a second. It's pretty easy. You'd stop right there, and honestly, if you don't stop right there, they're probably going to walk away anyway, because that's all they care to hear. And yeah, so that's the vast majority of the song and the part that most people know. I did give you the next section. There's like another 12 sections after this that most people don't even know, and if you just end the song, they won't even know that you didn't play the whole entire thing. But you're going to play all of that, and then these two little dots right here mean do all of that all over again. So you're going to go back to the very beginning, and even the parts that loop them again. Just go back to the beginning and do the whole entire thing. So if I play all of that for you, it'd go like this. That's the first time, and now here's the loop, the double dots. That takes us to that note right there. So now if you want the next chunk of it, this is the part that people might know. If they know some extra parts of the song, they might know the part that goes from A, walking up, B, C, D, E, down to A, and then up to F, and then F, up to E, and then E, and then you can go back to the beginning and play the whole entire thing again. So, beautiful song, extremely loopy. So just learn that one, like I said, that is the majority of the song. You kind of got to know the in-between parts so you can glue it together, but if you know that one chunk, that's like 80% of the song. Now, left hand. Don't freak out. You can totally do this. Do learn the right hand first. That's going to be important. But for those of you who are in Klopple Academy, like even level 2 and 3, you're already starting to work on major scales. If you're not in Klopple Academy, don't worry about it. But this will look familiar to a lot of you. So these things down here at the bottom for the left hand, the Für Elise left hand, these list of notes right here are just the major scales that start on those notes. So the C major scale is going to be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, just like is listed right there. You don't have to memorize that. For this particular song, all you need is the ones, the first note, the fifth note, and then that first note is going to show up again at the end. So for when it's time for a C on this song, you're going to play C, and then the 5 of the scale, in case you already know the scale. We'll play it up here so you can see. C, and then G, and then C. So C, G, C. That's what you would play for any of the sections that are going to say C when we're going to add in the left hand here in a second. Same thing for all the rest of these things. When it says E, you're going to play an E, and then a B, and then an E. E, B, E. For all of these, you're going to use the pinky, then the pointer, then the thumb. So pinky, pointer, thumb. And if you've been to any of the other lessons or to any of the cover lessons that we do every other week, or any of the pop lessons that we've done, then this thing right here gets used over and over and over. So this isn't specific at all to Für Elise. This is all over the place. This fingering and this playing the 1 and then the 5 and then the 1 thing right here. The 1, 5, 1. All right, cool. So the next one is going to be G, D, G. So it's going to be G, D, G. By the way, if you feel like this is too much information, like I said before, if you've got enough just working on that, feel free to take off and just practice that one thing right there. But for those of you who are ready for the next section, G, D, G, pinky, pointer, thumb. Don't tuck your fingers away like that. I just do that so you can see what's going on here. I'd play it like that. G, D, G. And then for any of the sections that we're going to label A, it's going to be A, E, A. So A and E and A. Pinky, pointer, thumb. So pinky, pointer, thumb on C. Pinky, pointer, thumb on E. Pinky, pointer, thumb on G. Pinky, pointer, thumb on A. Let's go back and label these parts so you know where to play each of these. By the way, canon in D is going to be even easier than this. So if it seems like this is just kind of outside of your reach, then good news, canon D is probably going to be perfect for you. So then, let's go back here. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. This one's going to be A right there. Ba-ba-ba. This one's going to be E right here. Ba-ba-ba. Bum. That one's going to be A. And that's the basic move for almost the whole entire song. In fact, the entire first half is just A, E, A. A, E, A with the pinky. If you throw the notes on top of that, A, E, A. We do all of that together, and we get something like this. Watch my pinky down here. A, E, A. And then just do this exact same thing again. A, E, A. So this whole thing down here is going to be A, da-da-da-da, E, and then da-da-da-da, A. Now, all you need is A and E for that first half, and maybe that's all you're doing. This next section over here is going to be, that's the C. That's the G. That's another A. And that's another E. So if we play those again, all together, it's going to be C, G, A, E, right there. And I'm trying to cram them all in here. If I zoom out here, you can play the A, E, A, or the E, B, E thing, or any of those, wherever you want. So all right, so that is the right and the left hand for Fear Elise. If nothing else, hopefully you understand that enough to be able to practice it so that later on you can play it when your friends say, hey, you know how to play piano? You can, with a little bit of confidence, say, yeah, I learned in a couple songs. And then at least get that much out. Everyone will recognize it, and you're the hero. Now, if you're ready for the next song, let's try it. This one you actually only need 8 notes for in the right hand. So this one's kind of simpler in a way than the Fear Elise. What you need is the first note's going to be an F sharp, and I'll show you that here. First note's going to be an F sharp right there. So that note right there, this would be an F, and this would be an F sharp. So you can see on the letters C, D, E, F. And that's your F sharp right there because it's slightly higher, the black note associated with F. And then you're just going to walk down pretty much from the F sharp to an E, to a D, to a C, but a C sharp. So not a C. This one right here is a C sharp. And then B, A, and then once you get to that A, you're going to start walking back B, C sharp, again, not C. So, again, those 8 notes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Your left hand is going to play these things right down here, and these are the exact same things from Fear Elise and from everything else that we listed before. The 1s, the 5s, and the 1s. Now, technically, these are kind of the shortcuts to the songs. So, canon in D doesn't literally go. This is kind of a cheat in the left hand, but a cheat that I don't think anyone would notice. And if you're practicing this, you're getting a bunch of skills you're going to use later on in other songs and stuff. So anyway, let's go through these. I will label these for you. It's going to go D, A. This is the tricky part. You got to memorize the order of these here. B, G flat, which is also known as F sharp, G, D, G, and A. So those are the left hand positions that you're going to use for each of these notes. So when you play that F sharp, your left hand's going to play the D thing. So that's D, A, D. And then I come back down to that middle note again, just to kind of waste time before the next one. So I'm actually on the D playing D, A, D, A. So just alternating all of those right there. So, and then same thing for the A right there. A, E, A, E. B, F sharp. Watch out for that one right there. F sharp, B, F sharp, B, F sharp. The G flat or the F sharp is going to be G flat, then D flat, then G flat, then D flat. So those are all black notes right there. And then G, D, G, D we already did, and then D or G we already did, and the A we already did. So that's all of them. And all of canon in D is this thing right here. I know it's like a 5-minute song, but everything after that is just that with some types of variations on them. So you'll have that note and maybe the note that's 2 notes below, like that. And then just follow that pattern. And then, I mean, you could almost make up anything. None of that is the actual song. That's just me using that and then doing something else in the meantime. So my right hand is just playing the notes that you already have there on your music, and then my left hand is doing other variations and stuff. So you don't have to work on that at all. If you can play that right there, that's going to be very impressive. And like I said, people don't want to listen to you play a 5-minute song in most cases. So if you can get through 20 seconds of good sounding music, then you're set. You've impressed your friends. You've played canon in D, and that'll be just fine. So anyway, Fur-Elise, canon in D. I think that's all I'm going to say about it for right now. So it's time for our feature of the day, and today is going to be Norah Jones. Some of you have commented and wanted me to let everybody know she's got a new album out. I listened to it. It is it's Norah Jones, and as always, it's great stuff. She sounds extremely, to me, Billie Holiday-esque. It's kind of like a haunting-ish sound, whereas before it was kind of more like a soothing, mellow, lullaby-ish thing. Let me play a little bit of it. Here's the first track. Here we go. To jump to the middle of the track.
Your eyes, the invitation lies.
It's kind of haunting-ish.
But pages left to turn.
One more. This is It's a Wonderful Time for Love. That one was Burn. And it's jazzy, as she has traditionally been.
The one where we don't have to place the blame.
So anyway, Norah Jones has a new album out. You might want to go check it out if that's your kind of thing or you've liked her stuff in the past. Let's do the wrap-up and then I'll get to your questions. And so the wrap-up here is going to be, obviously we talked about Fur-Elise. We started on an E and we talked about what a flat was. So we played E, an E flat. And if you get no farther than that, maybe that was your nugget of information for today. If you can get through the whole entire melody in the right hand, then awesome, you're set. If you can throw in a little bit of the left-hand stuff, these these left-hand skills down here will all really come in handy. We talked about how it's the 1 and the 5 and the 1 of each of those major scales. Even though some of the chords are minor, if you're on Classical Academy level 2 or 3, then that made sense to you. But you're probably not in the beginner lesson if you are, so never mind. But we talked a little bit about scales there, how they're sets of notes that all kind of go together, and we're picking the first, and the 5th note out of those to make up the left hand for most of this stuff. Talk about how canon in D is basically just 8 notes and then some variations on those 8 notes. While you don't have to play the variations, if you're one of those types of people that likes to experiment, just stay in the key of D, which means all white notes, with the exception of F and C. You're going to play those as sharps every time, and you can kind of make up your own melodies in there, and that's where you come up with anything else that you make up that is as good or better than that. So we talked about the 8 notes, and then again we're doing the 1 and the 5, and then again the 1 with the thumb in the left hand. We talked about the fingering, also how it's important to use your pinky, your pointer, and your thumb on those. So to whatever degree that stuff is applicable or understandable, then great, use that. And if not, please ask your questions or go practice your stuff. Let's get to your questions though, because we have some I can see here. Question number 1. How often do you actually have to play these songs? Have to? I guess occasionally. As a teacher, I'm asked, like students asked to play these, especially these 2 songs, all the time, and Rondo alla Turca and some other popular classical songs. So I have to play them very frequently for students. But if it weren't for the students, I don't know that I would play them very much at all. I can tell you this though, if you have a piano store anywhere in the city that is nearest you, and you go just like hang out there for 2 hours or long enough for 3 or 4 people to come through, you're going to hear Fur-Elise like 10 to 20 times, because everybody that comes in there, that's the 8 notes they're going to play. So anyway, it's obviously a song that everybody kind of expects you to know if you play piano. But yeah. Next question. When do the other scales get used? I'm hoping that you're not talking about minor scales that I alluded to. But the other scales, like the ones that are not listed here, maybe if you're in Classical Academy and you're working on some other scales and stuff, these are just, there's 12 of them total. This Fur-Elise uses 4 of them, and then canon in D uses 5 of them, and there's some overlap there. You've got like the A that you use in both of them. You've got the G that you use in both of them. So definitely a lot of overlap, but there's only 12 total, so it's kind of a crapshoot as to which ones you're going to get in which songs. So they're all equally important. That said, these ones are probably the most common ones. But I'm supposed to say, as a piano educator, they're all equally important. Practice them all. Next question. Where can I get the full sheet music for these songs? Okay, so yeah, if you want like the note by note and you want all 27 sections of Fur-Elise and the 27 variations on canon in D, there's a place called, actually let me look it up here. I think it's free-scores. Sounds like a credit agency. Free-scores.com. Yes, free-scores.com has a lot of like public domain and classical music for any instrument, but tons of piano stuff in there, of course. So anyway, it's a great resource. That's where I go. It's all if you're switching over from guitar and of ultimateguitar.com, they have, it's, same thing. It's Wikipedia for guitar, and all of the stuff in there is 70 to 80% accurate. Free Scores seems to be a little bit better than that. It's like 90 to 95% accurate. So if you have any questions about any of that stuff that you download and something doesn't quite sound right, then let me know, and I'll be happy to help you out with that. But yeah, so free-scores.com is where I would go, and it looks like that is all of the questions for today. So if you are in the archives and you have your questions, of course, send them along. And until next time, next time, by the way, is the theme song from Moana, the animated American movie that's coming out here really soon. So it's a pretty cool song, actually. I think you'll like it. It actually uses some of this left-hand stuff that we've been doing, the 1-5-1 stuff. So anyway, that should be a lot of fun. That'll be next week. Or you can join us tomorrow for the intermediate lesson. You know I love you. Good luck. Have fun.